All right, let's move to our next topic here. Some news this week. What was billed as an investigative piece by Reuters, targeting really the Navy. And it's not news that the Navy's been trying to build autonomous ships. Recently, Program Executive Office Unmanned and Small Combatants, or PEO USC, started accepting proposals for the Modular Attack Surface Craft, or MASC program. They want medium and large vessels that can carry containers, surveillance equipment, and can even conduct strikes. That was on the street. We've talked about that. That is now in the rearview mirror. The winners will be announced hopefully here in the next couple of months. But this week, Reuters is covering some of the mishaps, as they framed it, that have taken place to date in autonomous vessel programs. They're talking about software failures. They're talking about one ship maybe hitting another during the exercise. They're talking about senior leaders being replaced. Ben, when you see this piece, what do you think is going on here?
The details matter. Caveat. But what I see is not a failure, right? What I see is experimentation. What I would love Reuters take to be, if they were going to inform me, which I don't feel informed from this article, is what were the goals actually of this exercise, of this experiment? Did we fail at the goals of it? When a child stands up, when they haven't walked yet, and then falls over but takes a step, we don't call that a failure. We call that progress, right? And this is autonomy, autonomous ships, making things go fast underwater, like with software. Like that sounds really fucking hard. So just like a child taking his first step, I assume we're going to have stumbles, and those stumbles will make us better. And so what are the details here? What were the goals? Expect to fail. Let's hope we're failing fast. Let's hope we're failing and learning while doing it so that we get better. But I would love Reuters to give us that perspective, right? I don't even have that take about the facts of what were the goals. Right? So I don't even know that this is a failure or not. Yeah. I don't know. I just know that you're going to see things like this when you're experimenting and building. And there's no way you just in a lab going to do waterfall design, no pun intended with underwater stuff, and all of a sudden get an autonomous ship that works perfectly, right? You are going to crash, you're going to burn. Let's be thankful no one got seriously injured. This is how it works. I don't know, Noah. Do you disagree?
No, look, I'm not going to try to blow off too much steam on the media here. But this is when I see a piece like this, and I've been at companies that have been targeted by pieces like this, I am righteously skeptical, because I think you have to look at incentives. I am very skeptical of why this information comes out in the way that it does. To your point, is this strictly about informing? To me, there were some factoids in here, but there was also a lot of trying to shame. Now, I think that could come from a good place. There are times where sunlight and bleach are important, where we need to disinfect the hell out of corrupt organizations or things that are rotten. If it's coming from a perspective of, hey, we as a country, we need to win, we need to move faster. Great. The argument that like this program office is not used to moving as quickly, I think also very valid. We're in this transition period. Leadership changes, Ben, as we know, happen for all sorts of reasons. It could be anything from a disagreement on vision. We had the Air Force Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General Dave Alvin, was replaced this week, resigned this week, unclear exactly, but just 2 years into his 4-year term. Incredible leader, incredible human being. Maybe not the right fit for this Secretary of the Air Force, maybe not the right fit for this administration. Does that mean he's any less of a leader? Absolutely not. It's not maybe the right, there's an old saying, the president deserves his team, the leader deserves his team, her team. That's what kind of that could be about. When it comes to trying to embarrass whether it's this company or that company for not performing, for having a mishap, I immediately look at any company that's in the industry that's not named now has an incentive to puff this up a little bit and to talk about it a little bit more, because what does it say? It says change is needed. We're that change. So it doesn't mean that this is right or that it's wrong. I am just skeptical of when these campaigns are launched. I generally think there's usually a reason, and things don't just happen. There's usually a reason that these pieces of information come out in the way that they do. All of that said, hell yeah, we got to move faster. Hell yeah, we got to figure out how to put autonomous ships at scale in the water and swarm the fuck out of our adversaries. Swarm the hell out of our adversaries. So I think we are all on the same page of wanting that objective.
Hey, what did Thomas Edison say? What's the cliche? You found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb, and that's useful. Let's learn.
Let's do it faster.